would help if I put the microphone on as well. There we go. Blasted technology, a bane of my existence. There we go, Wayne. Yeah. What have we missed tonight? Well, to be honest with you, you've missed rearranging the studio. I'm just going through various bits and pieces. I'm struggling with lighting. I'm struggling with getting the right angles. I'm struggling with the microphone and all sorts of things like that. So we're having a refresh around. So you may remember what it used to look like with my TVs along this wall. I now have my various my hobby zone stuff over here. Let's have a gander. So we got my computer is now at the other end with a half-eaten sandwich on it, but we don't need to worry about that. I got my computers and Inception chat, and then we've got stuff going along around there, and we need to deal with that at some point. There's not so much painting tonight because I still haven't got any of. I need to make sure that I've got everything set up how I want it to be set up. I want to make sure that the angles are right, the light's right, and so that when I do this, I'm able to do it better than what I have done in the past. And also, I want to make sure that I can then use the area for when me and Reese do our live games and other things like that. So we're making sure that this studio tonight is more future friendly, I think is the best way to put it. I want to be able to do my shows more fluidly, and I want to be able to feel more comfortable. And also in the future, when I decide to start adding cameras or lights or other general bits and pieces for that, it means that there's going to be space to do so, and we're going to have a good time doing it. So what I am going to do just now, if I don't want them, I want everything. Just in case. So the other thing is I'm having trouble with at the minute as well. Let me just change the angle, because this, we're going to have a look at this angle that I've got going on here, and hopefully the encoder won't crash again. This camera right here we'll have a fiddle around with. My microphone is all the way over there for now, so sound might be a bit pants. We're going to make sure that we've got a really nice angle going on here, so that so that we've got a nice angle going here, so that I can do my intros and outros and various other bits and pieces in relative ease. But I want to make sure it's looking good, because I'm also going to use this angle for the dice tray when me and Reese play. Yeah, I don't get rid of any plastic. The only time I've ever got rid of anything was when it was made of metal. As I said on Monday, I'm spoiled hobbyist, you know. I didn't have to deal with metal days and stuff, so you know, whenever I come across metal models, I'm just not interested in using them. It's the only models I get rid of is old models and metal models. So the other thing is I am worried about is that the way that I've done this now is that my chat is right the way over there. So I'm not sure what we're going to do about that, but the chat is all the way over there. I might shift it around so that my chat is on my HD monitor and the stream is over there, which actually, if you want to see, yeah, you can see what I'm talking about here. From my point of view, I'm looking at the camera here. Ooh, now this is some weird stuff going on here. But if I'm talking to the camera, I just turn slightly and I can see the chat, and it's in the chat, and I can have a look. Whereas if I want to keep an eye on the stream itself, I have to go even further around to have a look at that there. Now that is some weird stuff going on there, and then I can look at the camera there. So I think that's okay. It's something, I think doing it that way might help, but I am wary of the shine. All you can do is try the set and see how it works. Yeah, and I mean that's essentially what I'm doing. But then at the when I first set up the stream, the other stream before it crashed, is at the beginning I said, you know, if you're watching along, it's almost like a test stream. But not only do you get to see what this studio actually looks like on the other side of the camera, but you see it coming together, you can see my thought processes. But if I happen to do something that works really well, you then have the opportunity to say, oh, leave that as exactly as you've done it. Hey Reese, welcome to the show. We're having a sort around, we're having a shifty. There's not so much painting tonight, but so we're going to carry on. I do still have a bit of a sandwich here that I do need to finish off.
Do you know where Lexi's matrix shield is? I've missed you.
No, I don't know where it is.
Will, I can't lose it. I've got to take it back. Like tonight.
I have no idea.
Can you get my fake juice? Where's my bag?
Right. The stream from earlier is already on YouTube, so we'll catch up with it later. Oh, good. That's all right. And yeah, you can have a look at the beginning of that. I don't know. Right. Mrs. is running around like a blast fly. She's lost something. Right. Yeah, not many watching, Race. I've only just got the message. Right. So what do we have here? Yeah, we're a bit all over the place this evening because it was all whoops, it's all over the place. I need to move the microphone at some point so that we can get it to a position that works well. I'm thinking maybe further up and more in front of me than where it usually used to be, which was up here, which is, you know, not far off from where it is now, but you know, because the whole idea is that, you know, we get it working. I did have my dice tray knocking about here somewhere actually. What did I do with that? Oh, it's over here. Oh, full of stuff that I just picked up and moved it out of the way. You sound like you're talking into a can. If I do that, does it help? Or is the microphone just not working? Ah, it would help. You see, this is what I was talking about the other day. Does that help? If I use the actual microphone that's supposed to be done. Not like how it used to sound. Yeah, I was using a webcam mic. But then even now I can hear it on my phone because I'm listening at the same time as my phone. I heard when I changed that over, the static that comes through that is ridiculous. But I'm wondering, just bear with me a second. How does that one sound? Because there's something else that I was looking at. The microphone on this camera here isn't very good. But when Jamie was messing around with it, this one seemed to be better. But I heard that the static come through really loudly when I changed it over. But what do you think about that sound? Nope, you don't like that one. Fishbowl, right, fair enough. Right, we will put it back to that one and we'll just have to see what happens. Seems a bit distant, yeah. Let's just pop that up there. We'll just leave that one. Yeah, that's it. We'll just keep messing around with the microphone while you're live streaming. There we go. We'll just do that one for now then, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if I can. There was something somebody was saying about using a virtual audio line to help with the static, but there's one thing telling me to use a virtual audio line and there's another thing telling me how to actually use a virtual audio line, and they're two very, very different things. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have a look to see if I put my dice tray there, my nice little homemade thing. Let's move that there. Let's bring up that, which isn't going to help because it's the wrong one. That's what we need, because I want to see what that looks like there, light wise. That looks alright, doesn't it? I don't need to have it filling up the screen completely, as long as you can see what's in there. And we'll just shiny. You see, Reese, that's what your purple dice look like. But I wonder if I can, if I bring in my other light that used to be on. I don't know what that does. Oh, that's even worse, isn't it? I can't get the angle on that as I used to have. We might have to think about that at another time. But while I'm fiddling around with bits and pieces here as well, though, you also said on the other stream, and I'll say it again now, while I'm fiddling around with bits and pieces that's on there and I'm not concentrating on a model that's in front of me that I'm trying to paint, now's a good time you can talk about, you know, questions or things that you might have to ask, or, you know, suggestions and comments to make about the channel in general. You know, it's all there. You're watching on your phone, so you can't see as good a view. To be honest with you, the view on your phone on those dice was about as good as anything. They were terrible, even on my monitors. Right. Pretty much told you my thoughts the other day. I've got a memory like a sieve myself, so actually some of the times I'll forget. Right. Let's have a look. Let's move. Let's get rid of that now. See, my phone, I've got my phone on and I can hear the what's it through my phone, and I can hear so much static. It's really annoying. I'm surprised you guys haven't said anything about it. You did a few times. What, talk about this static? I'm just fiddling around with some of the fields. Can you still hear me? Or is it just lowered everything down to the point where there's no point in listening? See, I wonder actually if I've got the Mr. Decibel boost, but I'm wondering if I bring the microphone closer like it is now. Hang on a minute. Let's just move this so you can actually hear me or see what I'm doing. Where's my wire there? So if I put, you see, this is what I'm worried about, is that the microphone actually isn't designed for long distance hearing. And it's more like a Kirioff TV type microphone that needs to be like right next to my face for you to hear it. So rather than boosting the microphone, so then I actually have to have the microphone here. And that worries me a little bit, because if I then move away from it, whether you can even still hear me. which is a little bit disconcerting. Which I do need to move the microphone anyway, because it can't live where it is. So I think what we should do is put the microphone up high, like up there somewhere. Which is what I'll do now, so it might sound a bit clunky as I move the microphone around that I'm actually talking into. Whoops. That's helpful. Right. This is going to get weird. You're a little lost on my show tonight. It's because I needed to move things around. Because I was really struggling to keep up with the various issues that I was having. So I needed to get at least some of them sorted out. What's going on? You've been away for the screen. Right, so right now I am moving the microphone so it is in a better position, hopefully, for the future. Like I said, the whole point of this show is all about just making everything work better than it has been in the past. Because I'd got to a point where I was just leaving things as they were rather than dealing with it. I'm having lighting issues. I'm not happy with the way things are going, and if I don't deal with them in a more constructive way, then I'm just gonna ignore it, and to the point where it's just like not point any carrying on. Whereas now I'm hoping that we can get into a position where it's actually working better than it was. So let me just have a whoops. Let's bring that down to there a little bit. Now that I'm here, and we're gonna have a look. I know it's a bit different than what the show that normally is on a Thursday, but I think if I deal with the issues that I've got now and deal with them now, going forward things will be better. You know, I've moved things around so I can see it better. I've moved things around so my lighting is where it was originally intended to be. I've got a bit more space to add some more lighting, so that I'm going to have a look at using the daylight bulbs while I'm painting. And hopefully get a much better idea about, you know, what I'm creating. You know, it kind of comes off the back of what we were talking about on in the Patreon chat on Monday night, about the fact that I just wasn't happy with the way the show was going, and you know, that was about content, but then I was also feeling the same way about other shows that I'm doing. I'm not happy with the way that I'm not getting on with the non-live shows, and that needs to be dealt with, because I need to find a way of getting those out. Otherwise, you patrons aren't getting what you're paying for, and at the end of the day, that doesn't sit right with me either. So, admittedly, this show isn't the painting show that, you know, you may have been expecting, but because of this show, the other shows should work out better. That's the hope, anyway. And speaking of daylight bulbs, whoa, yeah. So we're going to get into a position now where I can start considering where the other camera is going to be, and that's something else I need to do as well. Something that I've realised I think I need to invest in, and possibly a second-hand one, but invest into a DSLR camera that I can tether to the computer to use as a webcam. Because having a look around, that's what most other painters online would be using while trying to film theirs. Even though the webcams I use are 50 quid a piece, and they're very expensive webcams, and they do fantastic for this shot and for the dice tray, but perhaps for painting and maybe even the table when me and Reese are playing our game, I think they'll probably get a better resolution from these, which would then in turn lead to a better picture. Whereas with the webcams, they're decent enough and they are HD, but they're not quite, they're just not quite there. And I think not quite there has been enough for me for a little bit too long. So these are the things that I'm thinking about. That's what's going through my head at the minute. These are the things that this show is trying to deal with right now, is how to deal with those issues. So it might get a little bit dizzy in here while I just put the put this camera on this monopod here. Have a look at the ceiling. I'll tell you what I will do actually, is if I just for the time being, let me just change that camera around, even though, you know, it's the same thing. It means I can move this one around without giving you guys motion sickness. Even still, that wire is not perfect. It's in a really weird position. But now I do need to change it now so I can see what the camera can see. And it would help if I did the right one. There's that one. You watch, I'm doing all of this and then I'll cause the encoder to crash again. Alright. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop that across here. There we go. And we're going to see if we can come up with some kind of a shot that is palatable. Let's grab a model. On it. I tell you, let's grab one of these. Oh crud! Right, okay. I just lost his arm. Yeah, push that back on there. Right. Let's see if we can come up with a shot that we can deal with when painting, and how I want to light it up as well. So we've got cables going everywhere here. I'm going to have to thread cables around. I can do that later. Possibly try and hide them out of the way. I need to buy some more lamps, I think, so that I can get things done. You see, the problem now is that I've got my daylight bulbs for the painting, which you can't see anyway because the shot's not right. But now my face is blurry as everything can possibly be. Reduce that right down. That's where that needs to be. What I need to try and do is turn that the other way. That's that one out of the way, but then it's not really pointing in the direction that I need it to be. It's more like that. This one over here. And then I got this bright shine coming on right here. Look at that. Ah, I've looked at the light now and I can't see anything. Right. Alright. Okie dokie. That hurts. Well, I was kind of hoping that I'd be able to get this done in the one stream, but this looks to me like this is going to take a lot longer than I was expecting it to. I've turned all the lights and you can barely see what you can see on their screen now. So it looks like I might have to invest in some more equipment, which is not exactly what I was hoping for. I was hoping to be able to do what I needed to do with the equipment that I had available. But it turns out that perhaps I can't, which is not what I wanted to come to the conclusion for. Right. Well, it's 5 to 8 now, and I'm going to have a lot more to deal with. Hopefully, with any luck, I can get this organised, ready for Monday's show, which is something else I'm going to have a think about. How I'm going to do it. We do have, it is the blight hauler, so I'm looking forward to that. We'll over the next couple of days I'll have a think about how I want to do it and how I want to get through it without feeling like I'm getting a bit bored, or people watching are getting a bit bored, or just generally dragging it out. So the usual applies, you know, like, share. Well, you might not necessarily want to share this one, but you know, all that jazz. You can check out the links in the description below. And if you want to help support the channel, and maybe we get some better equipment in here that we can get a better feel for everything just in general, yep, the link for Patreon's down there as well. Thank you two for joining me tonight. You've been the only two that have, so thank you very much for that. You've been a help, having a look at what I've been doing and how I've been doing it. And here's to better stream next time. Alright, so thank you for joining me, and I'll catch you on the next ones. Alright guys, ta-ra. That one.